The Synchros are taking over, Cyberstorm Access has released, and that means the Mannadium archetype is at full power now. Talking about the adventure version that can really do anything it wants, thanks to cards like Apple Dragon, of course the Manadome tuners, and the crazy Synchro Toolbox. Before we get into the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so the YouTube algorithm sees us. Now let's get into the video. We can't do a Mannadium deck profile without talking about Visa Starfrost. He's finally a 3-of, and it's so exciting to finally see this. It is a name that is so important in the deck, and you'll see why in the extra deck later on with Vicious Astrolaut. This card is really good at popping your Mannadium monsters to bring out more copies from the deck. So you definitely got to play Visa Starfrost, a level 6 tuner. For the Mannadium archetype, we of course get a new heart monster thanks to the Visa Starfrost storyline. Mannadium Realm Heart is so great, probably one of the best heart monsters, because it can special summon itself as a quick effect in the main phase and pop a monster. So you also get to search a Manadome spell or trap, and we have a field spell searcher built into the archetype. Speaking of the Manadomes, these cards really are like the heart and soul of the deck. They're what allow you to synchro summon. They're your level 2 tuners. The water 1 Meek, when popped, can special summon a copy from the deck, and you can increase its level by 2. I suddenly have really easy access into the Axel Stardust, which climbs into the Bandifer by itself. Keep in mind that the Manadome level 2 tuners can all special summon themselves from the hand if you control a Visa Starfrost or a 15/21 stat monster. We've got Mannadium Fearless. This one is not as great as a level 2 tuner. As an Earth monster, this has really great synergy with the Scareclaw archetype if you add True King Lithosagim, which is a version I'll definitely have up on the channel, but you can check here my Manadome guide if you're curious how it works. When you pair Mannadium Fearless with the Manadome Prime Heart, you suddenly have a multiple attack monster which can OTK, because this card gives your synchros a 500 attack boost in the battle phase. Next up, we are running Manadome Abscission. So this is crazily enough a field spell searcher. We have a terraforming at 3 in the Manadome archetype. That sounds pretty absurd to say, but it's true. In order to activate this card, you have to pop a monster on the field, triggering your Mannadium monsters, and because of that you have great consistency throughout the whole deck. Mannadium Obsession also has a insane follow-up effect from the graveyard, allowing you to special summon a 15/21 stat monster or Visa Starfrost from the hand, because sometimes you will have a lot of level 4s stuck in your hand. Let's talk about Manadome Imaginings. This is your draw power of the deck. This card works quite similarly to the Link monsters in Tri Brigade, where you draw cards and put something to the bottom of the deck. This card draws 2 though, so it's a really strong card, and its grave effect is quite niche. I'll be honest, I don't really see myself using it. That's why I'm running it as a 1-off for now. It's a searchable counter to Dark Ruler, and it has a great grave effect as well. So if you're doing your turn 1 combo, you will notice you've gone through all of your Manadome monsters, and this card can shuffle 3 of them back into the deck. Finally, we're running 3 of the field spell Peaceful Planet Caleria. Unfortunately, this card is actually quite controversial. If you didn't know, it gives an attack boost to all light monsters if you have tuners around the field and graveyard. But because you're giving an attack boost, you're taking the consistency away from the Manadome Meek and Fearless when they can special summon. Nonetheless, this card is still absolutely insane, because you can actually bring back a tuner that will destroy by battle or card effect. Don't worry guys, we are running the Scareclaw archetype as well. This archetype, or this engine, really great searcher off of Visas into Lightheart into the field spell. The field spell gives us Rykart, and Rykart can draw a lot of cards and search us the Arrival, which extends like crazy, because remember, bringing back a level 6 tuner is no joke, and you can do that quite a few times because Arrival is not once per turn. And then we're running the 1 Scareclaw Arrival. This is, in my opinion, the smallest Scareclaw engine you could run. This field spell also has a really great pop effect, has helped me more times than I can count, and that's kind of why I love running this card. Next up, we are running some power spells. We've got Terraforming, Reinforcement of the Army, Foolish Burial, and Call by the Grave, because Droll has officially entered the format. So we just have to be a bit smart about our strategy and our combo plays. We are running the Branded Tax. Branded is really strong this format. We have Branded Quem. I've already tested against Branded post Cyberstorm Access, and I have a video up on the channel where I dueled against it. Really got to see the power level and the, I guess, grind game of the Mannadium and the Branded archetype. Moving on, we are running the Adventure package. That's 1 Griffin Rider, 3 Temples, Rival Maze as well, 1 Faithful Adventure, and 1 Draco back. To me, this engine feels like the comeback of the base archetype, which was really cool back in the days with Hauke Firebrax and Shooting Riser Dragon. Feel like we're getting a glimpse of that because of the Mannadium archetype, because of Apple Dragon. I think this deck is going to be a lot of fun, and you know, Apple Dragon really brings this whole archetype together. The Adventure engine doesn't even clash with Mannadium or Scareclaw, another huge bonus for the deck. We're running a very small engine of the Magician Souls and Illusion of Chaos. You watch my videos on the channel, you know I love this engine in the Adventure engine. They just go together, and you really find yourself with a lot of dead spells and traps that kind of have done their searches, done their use. We are running some cards to basically help us find things in the deck. We're running 2 Small Worlds, a Talents, and a Thrust. You could argue taking these cards out would thin the deck, and I definitely agree, but I'm a big fan of this card. If you've been following the channel, you know how obsessed I am with Small World. I'm expecting a lot of Drawing Lockbirds, guys, so we can rip cards out of our opponent's hand. And Thrust is absolutely insane in this deck because we have Terraforming to start the engine, we have the Mannadium Searcher, and I feel like in the modern format of Yu-Gi-Oh, you kind of have to play Thrust in my opinion. If it's not the main deck, definitely the side deck. And then to round the deck off, we are running 2 of the Apple Dragon and then 1 Kurikara Divine Incarnate. For me personally, there's a lot of uniqueness in this archetype. You can definitely do without some of this stuff. This is how I like to run it and what I find to be really fun to use. If they let Small go through, chances are you're going to wipe their whole field, or you're going to extend with the Apple Dragon, or you're going to search a hand trap. Really easy bridges. If you didn't know, Small can bridge the Water Enchanters of the Temple with a Kurikara Divine Incarnate because they're both 1500. And then you have the Mannadium Monsters, which can climb into the Apple Dragon. Now let's move on to the extra deck. We're going to premiere some brand new cards from Cyberstorm Access and some old ones that have come back into the meta game. Coming up first, we have Mannadium Prime Heart. When you use a Mannadium tuner as material, it can't be targeted by card effect. For every tuner in the graveyard, this card can attack multiple times. Finally, when this card leaves the field by card effect, which is probably its weakest effect, you can bring back a Visa Starfrost or a 1521 stat monster, can run multiple tuners and climb into this card. A lot of synchros don't let you use multiple tuners and is a really easy OTK machine as well. We have to talk about Chaos Angel for a minute, guys. This card has revolutionized synchro summoning. You don't need tuners anymore. If you see my dual commentary against the branded post Cyberstorm Access, we show how powerful the Chaos Angel is when special summon gets to banish a monster. When you used a light material, which in this deck is really easy, your synchros are unaffected by monster effects. Moving on, we have Baron de Fleur, the standard, the classic, the best synchro in the game. And quickly moving on, we have Bestial Despower to round off the level 10 synchros. Bestial Despower is actually part of the combo. If you didn't know, this card can bring back the banished Visa Starfrost, and this card has a really good disruption. You do have to shuffle back an opponent's banished monster so you can negate a monster effect, whereas if you shuffled in your banished card, it only destroys it. My favorite synchro, we have Axel Synchro Stardust Dragon, which honestly is just a climb or a bridge into a level 10 synchro in this archetype. Because Bestial Despower needs a non-tuner dragon as material, that's where Axel Synchro comes in. Next, we have Ancient Fairy Dragon. I am so excited to start playing Ancient Fairy Dragon again. Makes me want to take advantage of all the Visa's field spells as well. In fact, this card can special on a level 4 or lower monster from the hand as well. Is perfect synergy with the Heart Monsters. And then we have the TCG exclusive card, Golden Cloud Beast Malong, which kind of looks like Apple Dragon, can turn itself into a level 5 or a level 7 synchro. And for that reason, I want to try this card out and see what the potential is. It is a tuner as well. This card with the adventure token can go into any 9, 10 or 11 synchro. I'm thinking about sacking again Punisher. Going second, if this card goes to the graveyard, you can bounce a card to the hand, and that's a nice effect to have. I wish it was quick effect. Obviously, you have to start as Charge Warrior, a generic good stuff synchro card, but more importantly, it's that level 6 bridge. Until I introduced Apple Dragon and I realized that the token Apple Dragon summon can become a non-tuner or a tuner. So let's move on to the fusions now. We have Vicious Astrolad making his appearance on the channel. The generic easy fusion summon materials make this card kind of generic and splashable in a lot of decks. When this card is summoned, you can pop a monster on the field, and that actually has synergy with the Mannadium Monsters if you didn't know, and then it gets an attack boost. Next, we're running some Link monsters that just help us get into our end board. We have the Lightheart. You only run one of it at the moment. This card bridges your Visa Starfrost into like 3 or 4 more monsters on the field with like a draw one, a searcher. Pretty crazy stuff. And remember, Lightheart is not a once per turn. Brush Sheep is part of the Mannadium combo. Then we have IP Masquerader. Because you have so many monsters on the board, you literally have to free up space. And then what we use with the IP is the Nightmare Unicorn and the Appaloosa. Alright guys, for this portion of the video, I want to show you a Mannadium combo you can do with Visa Starfrost and any Mannadium monster. Remember, the archetype is extremely searchable, and there's even ways of summoning Visa Starfrost with Elemental Prisma and the Hero Lives. I want to show you the most standard, what you can expect playing this archetype. So let's get started. We're going to normal summon the Mannadium Meek, and then we're going to activate Visa's effect. We're going to pop it and then special summon the Visa Starfrost. Mannadium Meek would trigger now, allowing us to special summon a copy from the deck. Once we special summon a copy of Mannadium Meek from the deck, we can increase its level by 2. So we're going to make this card a level 4. We can Visa Starfrost into a Lightheart, giving us the Field Spell Searcher, which is really, really important. It's going to allow us to basically find anything in the deck now. Lightheart will give us that great search ability to find us the Racophobia, which will give us the Rykart, giving us the Arrival. Let's do that now. We're going to activate Racophobia, searching a Scareclaw monster. Because a Scareclaw is on the field, we can actually special summon the Rykart adjacent to that monster. So let's go ahead and do that now. And then we get to search Arrival. Just FYI, remember, because there's no 3 or more defense monsters, you can't draw a card. If you played the Adventure Engine, you definitely would have that on the field. Always put your Manadomes in defense, because why would you put it in attack mode? Now we can do something really cool. We can actually go into the Bestial Spam. We would synchro these two together, summoning the Axel Stardust Synchro Dragon. When summoned, brings out a level 2 or lower tuner from the graveyard, which is our Manadome Meek. And then we can go ahead and synchro both of them. Once we've done that, we can go ahead and activate the Scareclaw Arrival. This is going to give us the ability to summon the Visa Starfrost from the graveyard. This could be Crush Sheep as well, doesn't really matter. We're going to link off the 2 monsters that we used, summoning the Crush Sheep. Finally, Crush Sheep is back. This card was really relevant when it came out and kind of died down. Crush Sheep was really great in DDD and not many other decks. Because we have the materials available in the graveyard, we can now summon the Vicious Astrolabe to an arrow that Crush Sheep is pointing to. Let's banish the materials before we do that. Now that we've summoned the Vicious Astrolabe by banishing the materials, this is where things get really crazy. Crush Sheep is going to let us special summon a monster from the graveyard. Let's summon out the Mannadium Meek. We're going to bring back the Visa Starfrost. And then because Starfrost is on the field, guess what? We can actually bring out Scareclaw Lightheart. I could look at this board and do anything from this point on. RIP Spyro, that would have been the perfect card to go into. This we can summon a Baron de Fleur with Vicious Astrad and Mannadium Meek. And there's our Baron de Fleur. From here, you can extend even more. You could even go into a Sprite Sprint, send a Merly, shuffle back itself, and Vicious Astrad, summon Dragos the Pelia. The possibilities are endless, guys. I'm going to go into a simple Appaloosa with the Crush Sheep, Scareclaw Lightheart, and the Visa Starfrost. And that is a fairly standard and hopefully easy combo for you guys to do with your Mannadium Monsters. This all it took was Visa Starfrost and any level 2 Mannadium tuner. Just ignore the fact you don't have a hand, but if you did, this combo could triple, quadruple in size and potential. And there we go, guys. That's been a short combo for the Mannadium archetype. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and that's been the deck profile, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to drop a like. What version are you excited to run? Let me know in the comments down below. Look forward to more Mannadium versions coming on the channel soon. And that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.